welcome everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar. This webinar, we are going to be showing you our DVO OFX tools. I'd like to introduce firstly Blake Jones, who will be delving into what the tools do.
Recording in progress.
Doing a little demo for you. And I'd also like to introduce John Cole, who's our marketing manager over at Filmworkz. My name's Alex. I'm the sales manager at Filmworkz. So without further ado, I'll go to the next slide. So we have 7 DVO tools available, and these are accessible via our website, where you can actually access a free trial for 14 days. So if you haven't already, please go and check that out and give them a try. The 7 DVO tools that we have are DVO Brickwall, DVO Chroma, DVO Pixel, DVO Clarity, DVO Grain GT, DVO Regrain RGB, and DVO Sharpen. And Blake will be doing a demonstration on each of these very shortly, so you can see the great stuff that they can do. But that's not all. We also have the opportunity to win a fantastic box set courtesy of our sister company Restore Studios and also Arrow Video. So make sure you kind of keep posted on our info and everything over the next week, because we'll be announcing a winner in about a week's time. So be lucky, and hopefully you'll be in with a nice box set to go away with. Without further ado, I'll hand over to Blake and he can start running through the tools.
Yeah, and I think with the questions and everyone, if you've got any questions throughout the course of this presentation, if you use the Q&A section, it means we can keep a track, and at the end we'll go through all the questions with Blake and Alex, who can answer everything and all the things that you are wondering about. So yeah, Brill, can't wait to see what you got to show us, Blake.
Absolutely. Okay, great. Well, welcome everybody. Okay, let me just first start off by sharing my screen, and let's just come over here and let's optimize that like so. Okay, good. Okay, so when you're going to install the OFX DVO tools on Resolve, first thing you have to do is you need to download the Filmworkz License Manager and also the installer. So what happens is that when you receive your license key, you simply just come over here, enter your activation key, and then afterwards install the plugins. As you can see here, it actually indicates that it's already installed on my system here. So then once I can come over to Resolve, and if I come over here and come to my preferences area here, you can then come over and see that the DVO OFX bundle is loaded successfully. Okay. So then what we can do next, if we come over here back to the color page, you can see in the FX library area, we scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the Filmworkz effects are visible then. So what we have is we've got our 7 tools, and we've got, for example, the brick wall, DVO Chroma, DVO Clarity, Grain GT, Pixel, Regrain RGB, and DVO Sharpen. So for example, on this particular shot that we have here, we have some rather nasty lines in the picture that we want to get rid of. And an easy way to do that is actually just to utilize the DVO brick wall filter. And if I just take this, drag it into here, and now, as you can see here, it actually takes care of it completely. If I turn off my plugin, you can actually see here, this is actually the effect. And if I turn it back on, you can see you can take it off, and then you can also adjust it to get the optimum result for this. Okay, so what we want to do then is, and as you can see too, is that you don't have any playback issues then for it. You can play back at full speed. And also if I come over to, of course, Zoom is taking a little bit of the horsepower away from my computer, so it might impact it a little bit. Okay, so if I come to the next shot, this shot actually represents a totally different issue now. And so if I come over here, and as you can see here in this one, we've got some really nasty color fringing on the edges of the building. And I want to go through and get rid of that. So for that, I'm going to try to utilize the DVO chroma filter. So if I take this, drop it in like so, as you can see here, it does a pretty good job. There's still a little bit there. So I can use the strength and coarseness filter controls here just to tweak that and just get the maximum out of it and just get it. So this way now, if I come back to here and come back to this, as you can see, it looks much better than what we had before. If we turn it off, you can see there was the color fringing on the corner, and then I take it out this way, and it's much better quality for that.
Sorry, Blake, we're just getting a little bit of feedback that the it's taken a little while for the effects to come through on the for the viewers on the screen. So if you could just when you do the before and after, perhaps.
Okay.
Just allow a little.
Quick little second.
Yeah. Okay. That might be something of the latency of the connection. Yeah, it might be here, because there you can see it going off like so in here. And then you should see it there. Good. Okay. Now, if we come over to the next shot and we come to this one, here is a building that it's in Vegas, also has the same issues in this material. We've got these nasty lines. So I'm going to use a combination for this. So I'm going to first use the brick wall filter and then adjust this up just to get the best result. Okay, so now I want to analyze this shot for some dead pixels. So what I want to do then is I want to come back to my library and then select DVO pixel and put that in there. So now, so I can see what's going on, we want to now turn on the burn overlay, select this, and then it analyzes the picture. Once it's analyzed, then it will come up and display for me the parts of the shot. Generally here, let's try another picture. Let's take this off. I'm not sure why it's not working there on this. And let's take it like that. And take it again. And let's do it like here. Okay. And let's move it to here. And it could be because the brick wall filter is taking most of that up there. And then bring this in. And then normally we should see the reticles come up if I find any dead pixels in the picture. And then let's just bring this back to here. Okay. And come to here. And now we should see it. There we go. Okay, so there we've got the actual dead pixels that have been analyzed, and they come up here. And then what we want to do then is then come back to our filter here and just readjust that to get the best result for that. Okay, so what we've looked at here is the brick wall chroma and pixel. So now what we want to do is I've got some material here which I want to just clean it up a bit, and I want to use the clarity filter for that. And so for that, what I'm going to do here is take this here and move this into the picture. Now, in order to see this, what I'm going to do is zoom into the picture. And now, as you can see here, if I turn this off, you can see here that's without any filtering. And then this is with the clarity filter applied. And then I can change the aggressiveness to in order to get a better result in the picture. So let's come over here, just make it a bit more aggressive, and let's do it like so here, and just bring it up. But as you can see, what it did was it cleaned it up, but it also left the grain structure. So what I can do then is actually, if I want to completely remove the film grain from the material, I can then double it up with the grain GT. So if I take this one here and drop that one in, and now as you can see, the grain has been completely eradicated. And then I can also change this to coarse if I want to really smooth it out. And then I can then come over here and just give it a little bit more strength like so. And now if I look at this without, you can see that's without the grain filter. And that is with the grain filter. And as you can see here, and this is without clarity, you can see there's still a little bit of noise that it cleans up here. Fortunately, zoom might smooth some of this out, so it's difficult to, sometimes you might not see it completely there. Okay, so then the next thing we do is we come over to the shot here with the boats. This one, we actually want to apply grain into the picture. So with this one, for example, if we come over and play this, and we've got it like so, and I want to go through and add grain in, what I can do here is then use the regrain function here and drop that in. And then I can add the amount of grain that I want. If I want to go really overboard, I can do something like this. And then as you can see, when I zoom into the picture, I can see the amount of grain. And I also have RGB controls for this, for the size, sharpness, and also the uniformity of the grain structure that I'm going to be putting in. Now, what you can do also with Resolve is you can build this into power grades and then store this and then basically bring it back in like this, like I've done here, low, medium, and high structures. As you can see, I've got high grain, and then I've got a low grain and a medium grain that I've put into the picture. And then if I come back to here and bring it back to fit here, like so, and then I can play it with the grain that I've actually applied in the shot, like so. Good, okay, so then, what we have next on here is we've got what we call the sharpen tool. So this is basically is going to add a contour correction to the picture. So if we look at the picture now, this is how we have it now. And if I take the sharpen tool and drop that one in there, I can now just sharpen the picture. Now what it does here very nicely is it sharpens it, but it doesn't actually accentuate any noise in the picture. So as you can see, this is just a default setting. If I come over here, I can actually bring it up quite a bit and just use the spatial strength if I want to, and I can change the crispness for it. And then if I come out, you can see there's the difference before, after. Okay. So then if we come next to this particular shot, okay, we have an interesting shot here, and this is actually going to use a combination of tools. So what I'm going to do here is in this shot, let's come over and do a clarity first, I think. Yeah, let's use clarity for this. And so as you can see here, this will give me before. As you can see, it's very evident on the sign there, and then after. Okay, so that did a very nice job on it. I can then change the amount here, bring it up just to do that. And then I want to add a little bit of contour correction at the end. So I'm going to come back to my sharpen tool and bring that back like so. And then here, I can then come over here and just add a little bit more strength and do a little spatial strength on this. And then you can see here, this is without, and that's with on it. So it does a really exceptional job of just pushing that sharpness through. And you can actually, as what we've done here, you can just layer these tools one on top of the other to bring it through. And the same goes for example, the brick wall filter and things like this can also be combined with other filters as well. And you can also, if you need to make varying corrections during the shot, as you can see here, you have the little diamond buttons that you have. Also, you'll see on the Resolve edit page, and this will allow you to keyframe this. And so you can do variable changes and things like that. You can bring it in for this and then bring it up down when required. Great. Okay. And I think what we're going to do now is these are our 7 tools. Let's go through and open up to questions now, if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, sure. Blake, I was just wondering, is it possible to, some of the changes, the before and afters were difficult to perceive. So would you be able to just quickly show each one, just slowly
sure.
Toggle between the two so people can see the effect, please?
Yeah. That's after, before, okay. And then, for example, on this one, we've got here, this is before, after on the sharpness. And then if we come over to clarity, we've got, actually, we should turn off this one too, actually. And we turn this off, on, on. And you can even, it shows up on the scopes too. You can see it there too, the change that's happening at this point. Also, the same thing goes on with our regrain controls. If we come over here, as you can see, this is quite heavy grain, but if you turn this off, you can see the grain that has been layered on top of it, like so, when we're bringing that in there. And the same thing too, that goes forward here on the chroma tool. If you come over here and just zoom into the corner of the building here, and you can see if you turn that off, you can see the color there showing up in the picture like that on the edges. And then here it takes it away like so. And then also here, if you look here on the brick wall effect, if you take this up like here and turn this, excuse me, here, let's come back to here and just turn it on and off. And there we have it. Yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Blake.
Sure, no problem.
We do have some questions in, so I will work down the list. So first of all, we have a question in from Lakendra. They ask, how efficient are DVO clarity and regrain against Resolve's built-in noise reduction and film grain?
Yeah, what you'll find is that it will not induce as many artifacts as you'll see on the Resolve built-in tools. And that's what you'll find with it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And Heather is asking, are they process heavy? Do you recommend node caching on and in front of the node structure?
No, not terribly heavy, but generally, usually what I would do is do a cache. A cache is good. Yeah.
Cool. We have a question from Bob S. I own Phoenix Finish. Can I access those DVOs or do I need another license? So Bob, you have all of these DVOs already, as I'm sure you know, within your Phoenix Finish license. The subscription, the OFX DVOs are a kind of separate subscription. They're for use on Resolve and Mystica and Scratch. So that would require another license via our website. How does the D-grain compare to Neat?
Ask Heather again.
That I don't know. I haven't used Neat, so I couldn't compare it. Yeah.
Sorry, Heather. So we have another one from William. Does brick wall work on both vertical and horizontal lines?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's a toggle for that, isn't there, in the setting?
Exactly. Yeah. In the setting on the top here, you can actually go through and change it. Once this is activated, you can change it. Basically, you've got a rectangular, circular, or even diagonal you can use too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we had a question in the chat from Hutch, who I see Gustavo has answered already, but I'll read it out in case anyone has missed it. He said, how does the regrain OFX work? Is it using real scans of grain or is it artificial? And the answer, according to Gustavo, is regrain creates a specific pattern. It does not use real scans as a base. And then we have a couple more coming in. Stefan, would you suggest new Mac OS or Windows platform for better performance? If Windows platform is better, is the dual Xeon or top single i9 better performer? Good question.
Well, it'll actually work even on an older version of Mac OS. I'm running this on a Mac Pro 5.1 machine, which is an older Intel system, and I'm using it with Catalina. So that means that it will run equally well on the older versions of Mac OS as with the newer versions like Ventura.
Thanks, Blake. We have, does this tool, so Edgar is asking, do the tools work the same way as in Phoenix and Nucoder? So not exactly the same way as the Resolve is a node-based workflow, whereas Nucoder and Phoenix are timeline-based. So there are differences there. Also, being native, the same results. Yeah, I mean, yeah, essentially yes. I think being native, the native software, there's some slight there's some performance increases using Nucoder and Phoenix, and perhaps some more. No, okay, yeah. Thanks. Any other questions at all? Will there be an M1? Not for, so is Ali M1 and M2 not for the foreseeable future? It's something that we're aware of people there being a requirement for, but not immediately, I'm afraid. Is there a plan to release more OFX tools from Hutch? Again, it's something that we've had requests for and we're sort of considering, but there's no plans in the immediate future to do so.
But we are obviously constantly adding more DVO tools, like again, FrameLock. So we're constantly adding more of those. It's whether we'll put them in a package, but again, you can check out all of those. I think we've got now a total 35, which is pretty impressive on the website.
30, yeah, 35.
36, maybe, who knows? Gus will know.
There's some in development, but yeah, that's for another webinar, I believe.
Brill. Any more? Okay,
well, don't forget about the opportunity to win the box set. We'll be announcing that the winner of that in a week's time or so. And we've done the Q&A bit, so thank you everyone for those great questions. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out and drop us a line. And of course, please do check out the free trial on the website. But most of all, thanks Blake for your demo. It was great. Thanks John as well, and thank you everyone for joining us. It's been great having you.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm.
Real thanks everyone. Have a lovely
thanks everyone.
Friday.
Yes, you too. Okay.
Great weekend. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Okay. Bye-bye.